India and Pakistan had remained their rivals since the first day of their independence. Today we will discuss the most disputed issues of which both sides claim to be theirs. Kashmir and water. Before going forward, it's necessary to first understand the geography of water flow. The Indus River originates in the Tibetan Plateau, making its 3,200 km journey southwards along the entire length of Pakistan, before emptying into the Arabian Sea. The river basin is divided between Pakistan, which has about 60% of the catchment area, India with about 20%, Afghanistan with 5% and around 15% in Tibet. The two major riparians, Pakistan and India, have extensively dammed the Indus River to provide for irrigation and hydroelectricity. The Indus has 5 main tributaries. The Jhelum, the largest of these, originates in the valley of Kashmir. The Chenab, a second tributary, flows through the Jammu region of the state of Jammu and Kashmir before entering the Indian state of Punjab. The remaining 3 tributaries, Ravi, Sutlej and Beas, either originate or flow through India's state of Himachal before entering Indian Punjab. As a result, if the line of control (LOC) between India and Pakistan in Kashmir were to move from being a de facto to a recognized international border, India would permanently become the upper riparian and Pakistan the lower riparian of the Indus River and all of its tributaries. The Indus is a river system that sustains communities in both India and Pakistan. In Pakistan, it is the only river system supporting the country, where more than 92% of the land is arid or semi-arid. In India, it is one of 2 main river systems supporting the country's northwest, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, generally considered to be water-deficient areas. Given that over half of Pakistan's population is employed in the agricultural sector and that Punjab produces more than 20% of India's wheat and is known as the bread basket of the Republic of India, the importance of the Indus River to the well-being and economy of both countries cannot be overemphasized. The political history in arbitrating the border between India and Pakistan in 1947, Sir Cyril Radcliffe, the chairman of the bodies set up to demarcate the borders, was unable to decide what to do with the Indus River system, given that it was likely to be vital to both states. The biggest problem, of course, lay with the partitioning of the state of Punjab, as it contained a complex irrigation system built by the British to be run under a single administration. The task was eventually delegated to the chief engineers of East Punjab, India, and West Punjab, Pakistan, who agreed to allow the existing water-sharing systems to continue until the following year. This standstill agreement between India and Pakistan expired on March 31, 1948. On the following day, Indian Punjab cut off water flow to Pakistan. The conflict in Kashmir overlapped with the water disputes, and by January 1948 India had taken the Kashmir issue to the United Nations Security Council (UNSC). On April 21, 1948, a resolution calling for a ceasefire and withdrawal of all troops was passed. The Kashmir dispute and disputes over the sharing of water resources are intertwined. From independence to the present day, they remain the 2 biggest challenges when it comes to normalizing relations between the states of India and Pakistan. Later in 1948, Eugene Black, then president of the World Bank, offered the services of his organization to help negotiate a solution to the water-sharing dispute between the 2 countries. Although India was not eager to allow third-party involvement, both countries eventually agreed to this proposal. Evidence and records from the time suggest that in 1948, when the Kashmir issue was taken to the UNSC and the canal dispute between East and West Punjab first arose, in April of that year, they were treated as distinctly separate political and economic issues. In the early days of independence, the fact that India was able to shut off the central Bari-Doab canals at the time of the sowing season, causing significant damage to Pakistan's crops, exposed a central weakness and vulnerability in the newly created state that was desperately trying to establish its independence. As noted by one British general on a visit to the area in 1948, the dispute centres around the water insecurity of Pakistan, as all of its rivers either originate in or pass through India. Experts agreed, saying that resolving water disputes under the auspices of the World Bank was one way to reduce hostility over Kashmir. Nevertheless, military and political clashes over Kashmir in the early years of independence appear to be more about ideology and sovereignty, rather than sharing water resources. A communiqué from the British High Commissioner's office in Karachi, then capital of Pakistan, from November 1951 seems to suggest otherwise, however, but one assumption they have refused to entertain, that India should have control over Kashmir. By having such control, India could ruin Pakistan, simply by refusing to operate Mangla at the headworks. It is almost certain therefore that Pakistan would reject any solution of the Kashmir problem which would give these powers. She would rather embark on a war which she fully understood to be suicidal. Indian ministers at the time were also issuing statements, saying that controlling the entire flow of the Indus River would be impossible, even if India controlled Kashmir. It would appear that somewhere along the ideological path, as negotiations on water were being held, politicians worked out that a resolution to the water dispute may well directly influence the Kashmir problem. Indeed, some experts have suggested that Pakistan thought that it could solve the Kashmir dispute through solving canal-related issues, but India completely denied this route of resolution. Consequently, the Indus Water Treaty was signed by both countries in September 1960, giving exclusive rights over the three western rivers of the Indus River system, Jhelum, Chenab and Indus, to Pakistan, and over the three eastern rivers, Sutlej, Ravi and Beas, to India. The signing of the treaty and the financing of various water storage projects to benefit Pakistan and India meant that tensions were minimal, and to a great degree much of Kashmir's water importance was forgotten for the next couple of decades. As the populations of both countries increased exponentially, however, water resources came under increasing stress. With India preparing ambitious irrigation project plans, it was possible to see how, by the 1990s, Kashmir's hydrological importance had once again become a serious issue. Pakistan's position, the fact that, unlike India, all of Pakistan is wholly dependent upon the Indus River system, is a geographical reality. Another reality that compounds this one is the fact that, as the upstream riparian on all five of the main Indus tributaries that flow into Pakistan, India has the strategically advantageous position with regards to control and flow of water. John Briscoe, a subcontinental water expert, former World Bank senior water expert and currently a professor at Harvard University, recognized Pakistan's unhappy position in the following words: "This is a very uneven playing field. The regional hegemon is the upper riparian and has all the cards in its hands. Pakistan is all too aware of its vulnerable position vis-a-vis water, and the fact that more than half of independent Pakistan's time has been spent under military rule has not helped to de-escalate or desecuritize the water discourse in the country. Over the years, water has been raised as an issue directly linked to Kashmir. Pakistan's political leaders and military elites have emphasized that if they are forced to let go of their claim to Kashmir, that will mean letting go of the source of Jhelum and Chenab as well, and being at the mercy of India for water. Though it is unrealistic to assume that India could readily and easily violate the terms of the Indus Water Treaty, Briscoe emphasizes that Pakistan and India do not have normal, trustful relations. The trust deficit, along with the fact that India once blocked water flows to Pakistan, has the military establishment convinced that they must hold on to their claim to Kashmir in an effort to maintain the country's water security. Interestingly enough, another Pakistani organization that has been vociferous in defending Pakistan's rights over Kashmir and criticizing India's aggression against Pakistan through reduced water flows is the charity Jamaat-ud-Dawa Jud. The Jud is widely believed to be a front group that has been linked to the Mumbai attacks of 2008. Though there is widespread conjecture on the organization's close association with Pakistan's intelligence agencies, officially, such a relationship has always been denied. It is worth noting that the Jud has publicly declared India's occupation of Kashmir unacceptable and has also termed its policy of blocking water to Pakistan a justification to wage jihad. In most public statements, however, the Jud tends not to link water and Kashmir, in contrast to the Pakistani military's position on the argument. India's position. India has consistently and emphatically maintained that it has never meddled with Pakistan's share of the Indus waters. Even as the Indus Water Treaty was being negotiated, with the Indian government assuring Pakistan and the World Bank that water was not being blocked, Chintamanrao Deshmukh, the then Indian Finance Minister, stated in a 1953 parliamentary address that the serious food shortage in Pakistan was not a result of India blocking river flows. Even if it were assumed that some mistakes were made at some short period, which in any case did not exceed 1 or 2 weeks, he said. Throughout the history of the dispute, India has rarely, if ever, acknowledged that it has tampered with the supply of water flowing into Pakistan. Since there is also a large amount of secrecy that surrounds the governance of the Indus waters and data is not readily shared, there is no definitive way to prove whether India has just got caught up in Pakistani sensationalism or whether the seeds of resentment and securitization of water were sowed and are being maintained by the Indian side. In negotiations and meetings with Pakistani counterparts on the wider Indo-Pak relationship, India does not deal with water and Kashmir as the same issue. In fact, it has often been suggested by analysts that a more consolidated agreement on water might perhaps be a more readily achievable goal in India-Pakistan composite dialogue as compared to Kashmir. Briscoe finds that the Indian press seems to have a uniform view on water issues, in relation to Pakistan. He says that it was explained to him as follows: when it comes to Kashmir, and the Indus Treaty is considered an integral part of Kashmir, the Ministry of External Affairs, India's foreign ministry, instructs the media about what they are allowed to say. In certain cases, India is happy to conflate the Kashmir and water issues, whereas in negotiations with Pakistan it would like to deal with them as distinct and separate. Currently, India is in the process of building a number of dams on the Jhelum and Chenab rivers, both of which originate in Kashmir, such as the Kishenganga, Dal Hust, Sawalkot etc. The Indus Water Treaty allows India to harness the hydropower potential of the Jhelum and Chenab rivers, as long as it does not reduce or delay the supply to Pakistan. India therefore maintains that its projects are in compliance with the treaty and sees no conflict with Pakistan on these issues. Kashmir's position: the region of Kashmir sees itself losing considerably from the Indus Water Treaty because it is not allowed to fully exploit the hydropower potential of its own rivers. In June 2011, a Chinese news agency reported that the state government of Kashmir was looking for reputed multinational consultancies to calculate the exact loss to Kashmir from the Indus Water Treaty so that the government will have a number it can take to the Indian federal government. Given that both Pakistan and India are dangerously energy and water starved and nowhere close to an agreement on Kashmir, teamed with the impact of climate change and population pressures, the prognosis on the Indo-Pak water problem involving Kashmir is anything but positive. Thank you for watching the video. For more videos, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.